do it. And so I took the plunge. I quit my day job to try to set up Khan Academy.
I realized I could parody popular literature as well. So I did J.D. Salinger, and then I sort of took the plunge and I did
economy. They were really worried that we would plunge back into a depression, which was a very reasonable concern. It was a traumatic.
People against risks that threaten to plunge them into poverty because of events and circumstances beyond their control.
I took a plunge into that huge glass of milk we call life, and the results
per day, and instead plunge yourself into the shady confines of our exhibition. And
we might plunge in by introducing everybody to the very aptly named.
Before you plunge into adulthood, and beginning to think about
we probably should plunge right in because you've been talking about this a lot.
Torpedo from an airplane, they're very heavy things, and they plunge quite deeply into the water. And if there isn't a...
You can see that she was not the first woman to plunge to the ground at such a moment.
It's higher than him. It is, yeah, it's an incredibly big tree. With the chainsaw plunge cut into that gave us a window of opportunity.
Would shut down, and the loss of power would plunge the planet into darkness. But the most worrying aspects of this scenario.
And finally, we just took this plunge in which we went in.
Indian doctors, or is it bankers who plunged the country into economic disaster?
And hit a world at every plunge and finish knowing.
All right, and it means that we're going to plunge over the edge. This lack of spending is...
Once again, a president was about to plunge us into the darkest waters of foreign policy, where the ruling principle began.
The plunge down the face of this wave. We get to the bottom, and
for we've seen how spikes in food prices can plunge millions into poverty, which in
and again, it may take them minutes or days or weeks or months to actually plunge into the situation at hand.
Trillions of dollars, and they would plunge us into a seemingly never-ending war against a globally dispersed collection of terrorists.
To only be picking up steam. As I took the plunge into studying generosity, I soon saw.
Are your first partners to take a plunge in a time like 2007? The questions were so common, no matter the.
It won't plunge us into a horrible dystopia or elevate us to a glorious technicolor future world. Bending the bit far enough when you plunge down so that you can actually clean out the bottom.
hiring. You've seen consumer confidence plunge to the lowest level since.
Acted when you saw your own side plunge into the depths of despair.
So let me plunge right in, and then we'll have a discussion.
Cannot do as well before or after, like plunge deeply into projects on a whim that seem
submersible. By all means, climb in and take the plunge. This is something that should be.
And that is the plunge. But what if?
Is take that plunge, and look, a lot of people are very fearful